Morning everybody, welcome to the DW Stadium. Just Neill Rimmer and myself this morning, braving the elements, those worsening elements that probably making this one of the final few outdoor broadcasts that we do for some time in the build-up to this afternoon's game, of course, against Huddersfield Town, 3 o'clock kick-off at the DW Stadium. Looking forward to it, Neill?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It'll be a good test for us again, totally different I would expect from the game against QPR, which we performed well in. It was a tough game, that. They're going to be one of the top teams this season, so no, it'll be a good game. It'll be a big challenge. It'll be interesting to see what kind of team the manager puts out. Weather on a turn. Hopefully our fortunes in front of goal will be on the turn as well. That's it. That's all that's been missing from the games, isn't it, Paul? We've played really well, just not being able to hit the back of the net. So hopefully, as you say, could be a bit of a grey day, but hopefully not on the pitch.
Third game in 6 days. It's Wigan on Thursday, away of course. Yeovil Town next Sunday. It's tiring thinking about this fixture schedule when you look through it and look at the games and the travel, and that's still to come up.
That's right.
It's just a case of keep your head down and plough through it.
That's right. Yeah, the players have got to keep going. You know, it is tough for them. We know ourselves with the travelling. You know, you're coming back late at night from games. It's hard work, but the manager and the coaching staff and the players themselves, they'll manage the whole situation as best they can. They'll do what they can. They know that they've got to rest at the right times. Training won't be that hard at the moment, certainly for the lads who are playing, you know, a lot of minutes. But I always think the players prefer to be playing games. You know, if it's going well, you know, they want to be out on the pitch, and I think they'll be looking forward to the challenges. Obviously, over to Russia, then back to Yeovil. That's a big test for them. But on it goes, and I'm sure, as I say, that they'll give a good account of themselves.
We've seen the lads come back off the European games and battle through. We're unbeaten in those games against Ipswich, Blackburn and Chialton Athletic last weekend. How important is it at the same time to try and show a little bit of quality in those games as well?
Yeah, that's as we've just said the quality is in front of goal particularly is the thing that's missing. You know, it has been difficult. You know, what you find is, I don't like to go on about refereeing decisions haven't been great. You know, obviously, you know, the weather has played a part. You know, the win we had the other night, that was a bit of a leveller for both teams. It could be the same again today, but the battling qualities, the determination, the attitude of the players and the staff has been fantastic, and that's how we've got through it. It is, you know, you see it at all levels after an international break or these European games. Players come back and they're not as fresh as probably they want to be, but just shows you the attitude's been great, and that's why we've done so well. Yeah,
great stuff. Well, obviously it's the game against Huddersfield today. On Tuesday the players travel out to Russia. Now, for that game, our usual sponsor, which is 1-2bet, won't be permitted due to the sponsorship regulations out in Russia. So there is a new shirt that the players will be wearing for that game, with a new sponsor, I should say, and that is the Wigan Youth Zone. I just need your help to pull that one out a little bit, Neill, and lift up a little bit. So the Wigan Youth Zone will be the sponsor for Wigan Athletic out in Russia against Wigan on Thursday night. Great looking shirt. It's a real one-off. Nice to see the Youth Zone getting that exposure. It'll be on TVs all around the world.
Yep.
You can hear the rain more so than us at the moment, can't you? But that's a nice gesture from the club for the chairman's Youth Zone, isn't it?
Yeah, the Youth Zone has been amazing. Project from start to finish, the way the club's got behind it, what the chairman's done with it. It's amazing, and obviously, as you say, it goes on the shirts, and it spreads the word even further if it indeed needs to be spread, because it's such a big thing. I know a few people who go along regularly and say it's fantastic, and it's an impressive place, and it's something that the chairman and it can be proud of, and the town itself.
Yeah, hopefully it'll bring us a bit of luck on Thursday night. We've got, before we start worrying about that travelling and the game on Thursday, as we said before, it's Huddersfield today. You expect a very different game to the FA Cup fifth round tie last season. A lot of changes, and probably, obviously, more so for Wigan Athletic. But from Huddersfield's point of view, Mark Robbins, he's had a lot more time. That was his debut in charge of the club, of course. A lot more time to stamp his authority on the team and introduce his philosophy. So interesting to see what Huddersfield bring today.
It will be. It'll be interesting to see the change that we saw from last season. It was his first game. We kind of went there, you know what cup games are like. The manager made a lot of changes, and we didn't really know what to expect, but we totally dominated that game. And you know, I think we surprised everyone how well we played. That was on telly, I think, and I think that was kind of, for me, it was the start of realising that the lads who were coming in could actually do that job and take us further. It will be different today. We've changed a lot. I'm sure their manager's been able to, as you say, put his mark on the team, and they've started well this season. It will be a real test. You know, I've played against Huddersfield many times, and you know what you get generally with them. They're going to come, they're going to compete, as do all the teams in this division, but it will be a tough battling game, I would imagine, and as you can see with the weather, that will level things out a lot.
It was a good day, that wasn't it?
It was a fantastic day, you know.
I think that was the day we probably started thinking of Wembley,
yeah,
hasn't it, at the final?
Well, you know, we kind of came away from there and thought, you know what, this could be turned into a real good run. Wembley was a distant dream, certainly, you know, but when we went through that, you thought these players are kind of clicking together. It just feels right.
Huddersfield, of course, this time around at the DW Stadium. Wigan Athletic are unbeaten this season. After the QPR game, we spoke to James Perch to see what kind of confidence the team were bringing into games here at their home ground. And here's what he has to say to Let's Explain.
Opposition's coming here. No, it's not going to be easy to beat us because of the record that we've got. And us as players have got that confidence, and we almost know that when we go out there, we're going to be solid at least. And if we don't score the goals, then hopefully the back lads and the team as a whole can defend well and get a clean sheet.
And the crowd is always finally brilliant tonight, and we expect them to be brilliant every game, really, don't we?
Yeah, brilliant. Especially second half, they were like ward us on and pushed us on really. I mean, I thought with the chances we had second half, we maybe should have won the game.
Mr. Versatility, James Perch there, it's probably the best description for him. He's given such consistent performances. He's an 8 out of 10 guy every week. He's played centre half, he's played left back, he's played defensive midfielder. In pre-season he was moved around as well. You get the same performance from him, you get the same determination from him every week.
Same level of commitment and performance, as you say, Paul. He's been fantastic. He was one of those players that we've seen play against us and seen on telly, and he's always been impressive. It was a great signing. I think a lot of people in Newcastle were surprised that they let him go, and were disappointed that he did leave. So it was a great signing. I think he's been fantastic. He's a real nice guy, which always gives him extra marks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But his performances on the pitch have been great. He's been asked to play left back. I don't know how much he's done of that before he came here, but you know, he's really fitted in. He's linked up well. The back four looks really solid, right across, and he's been a big part of that. And as you say, whatever you ask him to do, he does and gives 100%.
It's a comfort zone now, the DW Stadium. It's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination, because if we're going to see through this aspiration of getting back to the top flight, although the away form is kind of stuttering at the moment, it's here where we're coming up, we're turning into work every morning and we're thinking, right, good game today, we'll look strong, and we're expectant, not just believing, but expecting to come away with 3 points, and that's not a bad thing. That's
right. I think everyone expects us to put on a performance and come away with a victory. That's right. I think you have to have that if you've got any kind of ideas of going up, getting back into the Premier League. It has to be a bit of a fortress, and I think that was one of the main things. After the last couple of years, it's always been a struggle for us at home. I think teams have come here knowing that they could set the stall out and nick something, whereas now we start with high tempo, we get amongst teams, and as you say, we play really well. There's only one thing missing at the moment, and that's that goal that we need. And as I think a lot of people have said, once one goes in, you just feel that'll break it, and we'll be off and running.
Championship's leading goal scorer James Vaughan will miss today's game, the second of a 3-game suspension for him for a straight red card a couple of weeks ago. On the face of it, that's fantastic news, but you look to last week, John Stegg comes in, experienced striker for Huddersfield. He gets the winning goal in a derby against Leeds.
Yep.
First win in 5 or 6 games for Mark Robin's side. Their confidence all of a sudden shifts to let's get out there again, with or without their top man.
That's right. I think it's funny how it can go, football at times. We know that you can be in a bit of a slump at times, and then you just get that one spark, that one victory, or something that happens for you, and it really lifts the team. And obviously that's a great result for them last week. They'll have that belief now that they can go and compete with the top teams, of which we are one of them. It will be a tough game for us, and it's always a worry when you lose your top player or your goal threat that you feel, but for that fella to come in and do a job like that, it gives the rest of the team belief.
Pressure on our boys today. I know we're saying it's a comfort zone, and we're made up that we're coming here expecting 3 points, but they've not quite been coming over the last, obviously they came against Blackburn, but we felt that we should have got them against Queen's Park Rangers. We're keeping clean sheets, which at one end of the field is fantastic. Just need that little bit more cutting edges, which is probably what the manager's been driving home to his team this week.
Oh, I'm sure. It's funny, I've played myself in teams, and you've gone undefeated, and it's been a lot of draws. But that's confidence. It builds confidence that you're an unbeatable team more than anything. The only people who will be kind of at the back of their minds a bit concerned is the forwards, because that's their job. They want to score goals. But everybody else, your midfielders, half their job is stopping the other team playing, so they'll be pleased. The defenders will be pleased because they're keeping clean sheets and looking solid, and they don't look like conceding many goals. Even the Blackpool one, it was a penalty and questionable at the time as well. So they'll feel as though that they're solid, they're a good unit, and they know each other. And then obviously the last couple of games we've had Lee in goal, and he'll want to keep that clean sheet going. So that's his main concern, keeping the clean sheet. So as we keep saying, things aren't so far away. It just needs to click in front of goal, and I'm sure when it does, as we saw at the start of the season, that there's lots of goals in this team.
Well, you're saying it's the forwards who are kind of taking that little bit of responsibility on themselves to find that killer ball, that last touch to take it beyond the goalkeeper and break that duck in front of goal. One of those forwards, Callum McManaman, who signed a contract moments before kick-off against Queen's Park Rangers in the week, spoke to us after the game and gave his thoughts on his form and the team's form in front of goal.
Yeah, it was frustrating, but I reckon there was a lot of positives out the game, so we just got to carry on doing the same thing, and hopefully we get the rub of the green and get a few goals next game.
The gaffer's saying one goal will kind of open the floodgates and a team will be on the back of a 3-4-0 hiding. Is that how it feels in the dressing room?
Yeah, definitely. I think as soon as we get one, I reckon there's a few more. So we've got 2 clean sheets on the bounce, so we're getting there.
And real options up front as well. Grant Holt back from injury, Marco Fortuné back in the team, Marco Brighton arriving today, so there's loads of options up there, loads of different systems to try out.
Yeah, there's a lot. We've got a lot of strikers and wingers now, so the goals will come. Got to.
Another start for you this evening as well. Not been too many starts this season. Still recovering from that injury. How are you feeling now, fitness-wise?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot stronger. I've had a few injuries and been ill a few times, so I've not really got going. So I need a few 90 minutes under my belt, and then I'll be improving. Big day for you as well. 1-year extension on your contract. Happy with that one? Yeah, made up to sign again.
Clubs come to mean an awful lot to you. You signed that contract back in January and you've gradually risen through the ranks on the back of a fantastic end to last season, and it's all there for the taking again now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we just need to start playing like we did the end of last season, but everyone just needs to be patient and it'll come.
Callum McManaman there speaking to Latics player. He looked more settled on Wednesday night. Whether that was the contract or not, we're not sure. He's not started too many games in getting that fitness back up, which you mentioned. But we did see flashes of the old Callum. As we say the old Callum, it's only from the back end of last season, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. There's a lot of things affecting Callum, I'm sure, at the moment. You know, he needs a run of games. He needs more games, because with more games you get fitter and sharper, and his game is all about that sharpness on the ball. You know, we saw in the game in the week the work rate he put in, getting back, covering. You know, he really did a big job doing that, and then he did show signs of that spark. He had a great opportunity, which I'm sure he's disappointed about. He didn't hit the target, but no, it's games for him, and I'm sure that confidence and that the belief that people showed him with that new contract, I'm sure that'll go a long way towards his kind of continued improvement and bigger threat on the pitch, because there was signs of it coming back.
Is there pressure on him this season? He's still 22 years of age. He kind of burst on the scene last season. It was the Newcastle game in which he made his league debut, and since then there was no stopping him, especially in the cup game against Huddersfield as well. He all of a sudden became this overnight star who we'd known about for a long time, but really started to prove himself in the first team. FA Cup final, man of the match awards, goals in the semi-final, etc., etc. Is there pressure on him therefore coming into this season? Because let's face it, in the summer we all said, to keep hold of someone like Callum, he'll be a big part of us going forward. He'll eat defences up in the Championship. He's probably got that on his shoulders a little bit. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. There's a lot of pressure on him. You know, when a lad,
especially with Sean's injury as well.
Well, that's right. He's one of those goal threats who is that player who can create something and spark the game for us. There is that added pressure. A lot of lads, when they get in the first team at a club, you know, they do it and they have good games, and the club knows it and the fans know it, and they can gradually, if they have a bit of a dip, it doesn't matter, because everyone's seen what they can do and the potential. But Callum, he did it, worldwide television, showed what a great player is, and that really does, you know, put a lot of pressure on everyone. You know, around the world will remember he scored that goal and his performance in the final. It's, you know, it's a lot for a young lad to live up to. So it's going to take a while for him to get his head around that. You know, other teams will come here, they'll know him, so they'll double up, they'll put another man, or if they don't, they'll certainly, as soon as he gets the ball, they'll get a fella there as well.
We've seen that, haven't we, so far?
You know, we saw particularly the Blackpool game, the fullback there, he was a bit, you know, unsure of himself, but then, you know, Blackpool got the fella there, and they put a lot of pressure on Callum. You know, he had to just pass it and keep it moving, which he did well. But there is that pressure on him, and it's something that he's got to learn to deal with, and I'm sure he will. But he needs that run of games like other players, you know, like Chris McCann. You've seen how well he's come on with having these games under his belt. When you're in and out, you're trying to impress. You sometimes try a bit too hard. But he's coming to his own, and we saw a good performance from him in the week. Yeah,
it's all about continuity. There's competition now there as well. When at the start of the season, again, we go back to games like Barnsley, and you're almost guessing that starting lineup, give or take 3 or 2 or 3 players, you kind of know who's going to start. But now, you know, Callum's got competition with Marco Brighton coming in.
That's right.
Chris McCann has applied more competition to the likes of Ben Watson, who was on the bench on Wednesday night, to James MacArthur. It's a great dilemma for the manager to have. Not so much for us, because we get the team sheet through.
Yeah, and we're like,
and we're trying to see where the changes of all
and where everyone's going to happen. Yeah,
but he
that's
needs
right.
that as well, the manager, with the amount of games we've got.
With the amount of games, that's right. It's just finding that right mix every time. And you know, sometimes it clicks, and sometimes players don't quite get it. You know, they'll be working and training to get that understanding. The system will come, and then you'll want players to play within that system. And we've seen that for years here. You know, we noticed it last season with the way Roberto did things. Players would come in and they'd know his system, and they were used to it. It's just that matter of time for players to get used to how the manager wants and expects them to play. It's a new team, it's a new system, a new regime, and it just takes a little bit of time for the lads who are here and the other lads who've come in to kind of click together, because that's all it is. There's lots and lots of talent in this club at the moment. We just need them just to find that little spark, that little click, and that is just in front of goal, really. You know, everything else, I'm sure he's pleased with. Defence, midfield's battling away. It's just that little extra spark up front.
No alarm bells, hopefully, when we kick off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Owen Coyle says his team are very close now to clicking. He described it as a coat of paint away from getting that final game together, to going out there and producing those consistent performances week in, week out. Here's what he had to say on today's game after QPR on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think, listen, every time we come to the DW, because of our standards and everything else, we're looking to get 3 points. I think we've got to accept that we played against a very good side tonight, and Queen's Park Rangers are certainly that. But I felt second half in particular we really got to grips with it. I thought the first half was, you know, Ichi Peachy did a bit of the play, but we probably had the best chances in the half, in the first half. And second half I felt we controlled it. They had obviously dangerous in the counter attack with the pace they've got with Hoylett and Phillips and players of such like. But we dominated the game. Again, the woodworks denied us, and even then, Callum McManaman, who you know, we've signed on a new extension and a contract, and I thought it was just, you know, the script was set that it was coming on, just, you know, to step onto that to hit the winner, and we had other opportunities like that. And again, you know, we're annoyed and frustrated because we'd have loved those 3 points. It moves us up the league a couple of places, but it'd be even more so with 3 points. But as I said before, we know it's a coat of paint from all coming together. We've been through such a difficult period in terms of the amount of games we've had to play last month and now this month again. And the players are a credit to the football club, the way they go about it. The fans were great tonight, got behind the team and really pushed them on. As I said before, we know we keep knocking at that door, that's going to fly open, and somebody's going to be in the end of 3 or 4 goals, that's for sure.
Well, there's the goal that Owen Coyle hopes has one less coat of paint on it this afternoon after the game. Hopes his team can find the back of the net a few times and open up those floodgates, as he mentioned. Hopefully, me and Neil can start that off this afternoon, because we've got a little bit of a twist on our game at the end. Normally it's the keep you up's game, which you've mastered in recent weeks, so we thought we'd mix it up a little bit. We've got a couple of efforts here. We've probably got about 2 or 3 goes each.
Really?
What we're going to try and do from up here in the West Stand, and you can see the goal there in front of us. See if we can score. Now, you can either do it out of your hands, you can either do it on the deck, whichever way you want to do it, but the objective obviously is A, to try and get it that far in the first place, which I think we're both a bit scared of.
Yeah.
And B, obviously to try and see if you can hit the back of the net. So, do you want to practice one before we get into it first?
No, we'll get straight into it. Can I take my coat off?
You can indeed, you can indeed.
Thank
Let's see
you.
if this starts off that goal-scoring run today.
Okay. We've got a goalkeeper now.
We've got a goalkeeper now, that's right. Can you reach it?
No. That's a warm-up.
That's a warm-up effort, so let's see if we can do any better.
I tell you what, Paul, that's a long way away.
It is, isn't it? Better on the deck, better out of the hands. I'll have a go from the deck. See if we can get... No bouncing as well, it's got to be... This isn't looking too good, this, is it, Neil?
It's not looking... We've started badly. I think it's the wind.
Yeah,
so we need
that'll be
start it out there.
That's better, that's looking good.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's
I'm going to go on the deck, I think, again. I think we're going to get a little bit of stick after this, Neil. Athletics official, if you want to let us know what you think of these efforts so far. Most of the way the groundsmen have lined up by the light machines as well.
There's
just
one,
in case there is one
and there's one in the stand now. Oh, see, it starts well,
Can't
Paul.
get it beyond the penalty area. I think we might have to revise this game next week, Neil.
I think it's just the distance. So I'm going to start. Oh, I have to start quick. Ah, can I have one more?
This
I
is
slipped
awful.
there.
We've got a couple more each, I think. We've got to try and do ourselves some credit here, Neil. We'll have to look at these as warm-up efforts before.
Tony, stand in the goal.
Yeah, that'll help, won't it?
Oh, that's a good strike, but it's miles away.
It's further than you think.
Really?
I hope so. I think we've got one goal left after this one.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, that's
Here we
looking
go.
good. That's a little bit better.
No. Look, I can't
Just
even.
when you think it's going to get there and it curls
There
back in.
do you know what? It must be windy out there.
Right, this is my last go. We've got to try and do something here, Neil, because this is embarrassing, to be fair.
How far away are we? Who came up with this idea?
This is miles away. We'll go the other end next week.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's a
That
little bit
looked
better.
good as well, that
was
looked really
going there,
good.
wasn't it? Not too displeased with that as my final effort. Come on, Neil.
This is my last go. I'm just hoping to get on the pitch.
Ooh, interesting. It might go. It's still going.
No, no legs.
Oh, it's on target. Not bad. Not bad at all. Right. That was an interesting end to the show.
Yeah.
Not embarrassing at the same time. Thanks for joining us this morning. Thank you, Neil, as well. We'll hopefully not make too much of a prat of ourselves on our next show against Brighton in a couple of weeks' time. Remember, you can join us throughout the day on Twitter at @LaticsOfficial. Me and Neil will be on Latics Player from 2 o'clock with all the match build-up and then full live match commentary on Latics Player. Of course, you can join us through. Let us know what you're thinking of the match on our Cover It Live service on the Wigan Athletic website as well. Thanks for joining us this morning. Enjoy your day, enjoy the game, and we'll see you next day on Matchday Live.